Thank you. Thank you very much. Uh-oh. 8 seconds in, I'm getting flathead. Like a Dick Tracy villain. All right. How was your Thanksgiving, everybody? You all good? Yeah? Mine was trip-to-fantastic. Although I'm still having panic attacks from seeing Dennis Franz's naked ass on Tuesday, huh? Night sweats. Well, let's see who fed it and who ate it this week. Clinton Thanksgiving dinner was delayed for a couple hours as it took the president a while to think of something to be thankful for. In a story on the school prayer front, Jesse Helms said that a moment of silence instead of an actual spoken prayer would be like, quote, kissing your sister. Now, Jesse, are you saying it's a good thing or it's a bad thing? Senator Helms went on to say that President Clinton would need a bodyguard if he ever went to North Carolina. Helms later claimed that reporters misunderstood him through his hood. House Speaker to be Newt Gingrich told a reporter this week that he felt homosexuality is an orientation, quote, like alcoholism is an orientation. You know, as for me, Newt, I feel homosexuality is an orientation like being a divisive, hate-mongering, pain-in-the-ass demagogue is an orientation. But that's just me. I didn't think this was a big Newt fan club tonight, huh? Oh, I need. The third in command of the country has the same name as the little Minotaur on Hercules. Thank you. Good. Makes me feel good. David Crosby finally received a liver transplant this week. Unfortunately, the donor was Keith Richards. And in Virginia, former Miss Williamsburg, Tracy Lippard, was convicted this week for using a hammer to try and kill the woman who took her boyfriend. She has to serve 6.5 years now, and she's probably going to lose her Miss Congeniality crown. Judge said if for any reason she could not serve her sentence, the first runner-up would maybe went to the standard beauty queen pool once too often there, didn't I? In his exclusive 5-part interview on KCBS TV in Los Angeles last week, Judge Lance Ito actually said his fame has given him, quote, newfound empathy for people like Madonna. And I see the tie-in here. Both of them will bang on a desk any chance they get. Who moaned? Who moaned? Come on. Oh, okay, like Madonna doesn't fuck indiscriminately. All right. I'm the bad guy there. All right. Another victory for the American Civil Liberties Union this week. The ACLU has gotten high school officials in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, to rescind an order demanding students shower after gym class. The ACLU argued that forcing students to use showers in public was a violation of privacy. You know, I used to think the American Civil Liberties Union was a bunch of dickheads. Now I realize they're a bunch of tiny dickheads, all right? Jesus Christ. Let's get on with it, boys. Saturday's jackpot in the National Powerball lottery is $70 million. Unbelievable. It would make it the second largest prize ever won. The odds of winning are estimated at 1 in 55 million, roughly the same chances you have of the cable guy showing up on the day he's supposed to. Why is it in America that going somewhere, buying something, calling someone, just about Any transaction you can name in America is as nerve-wracking as a Bosnian grocery run. Why is it that seemingly everyone with a job along the Great Service Highway is an uninterested sociopath with the interpersonal skills of a Wolverine? I don't want to get off on a rant here, but why is it that I can't seem to go through the simplest major hassle with anything? For example, I recently subscribed to a magazine. After paying for it, they sent me another bill. I called them to rectify the situation. They assured me they'd correct the problem. I then started receiving 2 copies of the magazine each week, one addressed to Dennis Miller and the other addressed to Denise Miller. Now, I want to know 2 things. 1, how can they not know they're sending 2 magazines to the same address? And 2, how did they find out about my cross-dressing? You know, nowadays, half the people you ask for help say, "It's not my job, man," and the other half don't have a clue about how in the hell to do their job. See if this sounds familiar. Hotel clerks who, even though you requested a non-smoking room, give you a suite that smells like Dennis Leary's index finger. Maids who don't give a shit about the do not disturb sign and come through the door like Pete Wilson raiding the kitchen for green cards at El Polo Loco. Movie ushers who constantly ask you to remove your feet from the seat in front of you, but refuse to even shine their flashlight on the gang initiation golden shower taking place during The Lion King. In trendy restaurants from the Upper West Side of Manhattan to West Hollywood, the one dish you can be sure is on the menu is attitude. Now, I know all these waiters and waitresses have the talent to be the next Luke Perry or the next Luke Perry. Couldn't think of anybody else that bad. And excuse me for wandering into your restaurant in a quest for sustenance to jam in my pie hole, but from the time you strap on your Buford Pusser pepper mill to the time you drop your last check, do all of us hungry patrons a favor and use your sense memory to portray a wait person who gives a shit about the customer they're serving, even though that customer rudely insists on not being Mike Ovitz, okay? And you know, it's not like I don't sympathize. I've been in the vast service gulag. After I graduated from college, one of my first jobs was as an ice cream scoop at a Village Dairy in Pittsburgh. I'm standing there at age 21 in a paper hat with my 2 fellow employees asking me if they're going to find the driving test hard. And the prettiest girl from my 5 years ago senior class walks in to order a cone. She recognizes me and tries to cover her discomfort by making awkward small talk about sugar versus cake, as I think, yeah, I'll get laid on this planet, sure I will. And I once had a job cleaning toilets for a living, on the night shift, for Christ's sake. Got that? I didn't even rate cleaning toilets during the day. My bosses actually thought to themselves, yeah, Miller's good, he's real good. He's just not ready for the show yet. You know, I know jobs can be unrewarding, but I'd like to go on vacation for a week, call the paperboy and ask him to suspend delivery during that time and not come back to 9 newspapers sitting outside my doorstep, screaming to every lowlife in the area, "Yoo-hoo, over here, nobody home." I'd like my groceries in a bag that will actually contain what I purchased and not open up like the Bombay doors on the Enola Gay as soon as my pickle jars are over the cement driveway. I'd like the universal remote I bought to change the channels on my TV and not shut off the neighbor's home dialysis machine. And you know, while we're on the subject of inefficiency, why doesn't somebody warn you that the Stay Hard cream will short-circuit the auto suck? Are you with me on that? A little too specific? All right, let it go. Walk away from it. Never happened. And I think the labor unions have got to step up and take some of the blame for the morass of ineptitude in this country. If I just want a simple light moved on this show. More importantly, I've had it up to here with corporations pushing the fucking unions around. If you haven't... You know, if you haven't been laid off by now, you're working overtime. Companies are lean and mean, and so is the service they give you, lean and mean. Still, a lot of the blame falls on us. There seems to be this notion that good, honest, hard work is something to be viewed down our collective snout. Doesn't make workers at the bottom of the totem pole feel very good, does it? If you want better service, the next time you see one of those workers in an Employee of the Month photo at a fast food restaurant, suppress your urge to make your friends laugh by ridiculing the guy as a dork and a loser with a bad haircut. Instead, why don't you seek out the guy who actually took pride in doing his job the way it's supposed to be done and thank him for dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure there's toilet paper in the stall and ketchup in the dispenser. Make that person feel good, because they're the last thin blue-collar line between a frayed but still functioning society, and full-blown will be there anytime between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., or maybe we won't even show up at all. Ass-face anarchy, all right? And let's grab the reins as consumers. Don't stay on hold forever. What's that? I should press 1 if I'm calling from a touch-tone phone. Hey, Hal, I'm pressing flash because I'm hanging up now and taking my business to a human operator. Don't settle for the fish nugget and the green spooge. Turn the car around, go back and demand the goddamn cheeseburger you ordered. And lastly, let's get our pride together. Go to the whip and regain our position at the head of the socioeconomic pack. How about less billions being spent on getting the war machine cherry and a few more billion in tightening up our educational system? Forget the moment. Let's forget the moment of silence in the morning. Why don't we shoot for a moment of science, okay? It's time we stop looking up at Japan's ass. And you know why? Because that definitely is not our job, man. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I want to know what you think. Thank you. I want to know what you think. Very inefficient applause. I want to know what you think, America. Give me a call at 1-800-LACTOSE. Our guest tonight is a well-known white Nike fetishist whose sitcom is the one that I definitely feel should be loaded in the time capsule as representative of the best our generation has to offer. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry.
Come on. There's a hole in the sandbag.
Just wanted the verite feel.
Oh, this is great.
Nice chair?
Yeah, this is...
Like Hope and Crosby and On the Road to Hong Kong.
Did anybody test this chair?
Huh?
Did anybody test this out?
No, man. Nobody sits in this before you.
This is not human. Nobody sits like this. Because no, really, I mean, this is what you're talking about,
ahead.
right? I'm going to go with it.
Run with it.
They say it looks nice with the back on an angle.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Huh? All of a sudden, you're at the gynecologist.
That's right. It's great.
Fine, man. How you doing?
Good to be here, Dan.
I was just talking to Jerry backstage. He's always a good friend of mine. I don't think I've seen you in over 2 years. We were talking.
But you know, we started together.
Yeah.
We started Raw.
I remember Jerry, one of my first nights in New York, I'm standing in the comic strip. He's talking to Jimmy Brogan, who went on to do, what was it called, Angels in the Outfield? And
Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue. And Jerry came back from the Playboy Club in Great Gorge, New Jersey.
Right.
And he had made $175 that night, and you were like God, man.
Yeah. Well, I was at the Playboy Club.
Huh?
Moreover, I was at the Playboy Club, which nobody had ever been to.
The hippest thing?
Yeah.
We're in Laney Kazan's room?
Well, that's when we thought that we were going to be...
Laney had a room on both coasts.
Well, we thought we were going to be playing the Playboy Club and Mr. Kelly's and all these, and then we didn't know there was no show business out there.
Yeah.
You know, we started out in comedy. You don't know there was no business. There was no work.
Then you end up in Birmingham, Alabama, working at a club called I Don't Get It or something, you know. What about inefficiency? Now, do you think it's like endemic to America, or do you think this stuff permeates all cultures across this globe?
I don't know why anything should work. I don't expect anything to work. I'm not surprised that it doesn't work. I expect things to not work.
So,
you know, so when it does work, see, if everything worked, then, you know, people that work couldn't work. Because, you know, anyone could do it. It's good that everything sucks.
You know him as the star of his own show, Kierkegaard. Jeez, babe, you flipped me out. I thought it was at Helena's with Tim Leary there.
The only problem is probably a lack of qualified stupid people. You see,
good quality stupid people.
Quality stupid people. You see, now we have low quality, we have high quality stupid people. Stupid people that think they're smart. See, that's the problem. Stupid people that don't think they're smart do their job because they know they better do it. You know?
Wow. I've never felt more like a Nazi.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here nodding thinking, I got 5 people watching me to begin with, and 4 of them just clicked that for Urkel. What about stupid people in other cultures? Are there anything you find stupid
Well,
like?
see, certain cultures accept their lack of inefficiency, like the Chinese.
Yes.
You see, they're sticking with the chopsticks, you know? Now, they've seen the fork. We know they've seen the fork. But they're hanging in there. We're going, yeah, sure, yeah, we've seen it, but we're staying with the sticks. You know there had to be a farmer at some point. Get up in the morning, he has his breakfast with the chopsticks, he goes out in the field and he's shoveling with a shovel? I mean, come on, figure it out. You got a shovel? Put 2 and 2 together. He's not plowing 40 acres with 2 pool cues.
We've got a phone call on line 1.
Am I right?
He's right. Wow. You turned me into Leno. You got me doing Leno. Line 1, we got Tim from Pottstown, PA. Timmy, talk to us.
Hello.
Tim.
How are you guys tonight?
Can't you get rid of the hello part of the call-in? We don't need the hello. We're all here.
We're trying to
that's
streamline,
inefficient,
Timmy.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a show about efficiency.
Go ahead, shoot.
Efficiency. My way for efficiency here. Why doesn't President Clinton stop cutting programs and social services and start cutting congressmen and senators?
Tim, we're doing a comedy show.
Well, there's not much more
You
comedy
steer
than
me into the wall like the kids in Village of the Dam. Bam! It's over.
Tim, it's 1 sandbag per show.
Wow. Timmy. We got to split, Timmy. You hit the bat chute on us, baby. Line 4, we got Laura from Jacksonville, Florida. Laura?
Hey, guys. I just want to say I love you both. It's glad to see you together.
Thank you.
But I do have a question. I want you to know there is no lack of high-quality stupidity in the fast food restaurant around the corner from my house. I want to know, why does it take 20 minutes for a hamburger through the drive-thru, or 30 minutes if you go inside, and you still walk away with a flat Diet Coke? What's the deal?
Because they're using the fizz as part of the energy conservation system. That they recycle the fizz to keep the oven. I don't know how they do it.
Don't ever go to the drive-through window, because that's where they dump out all the Andromeda strain that they don't have the balls to sell you face-to-face. You know?
No doubt.
Here, he'll get home, he'll realize he's a shithead, he won't have the moxie to come back and ask for another one.
Oh, yes, I will.
Speaking of food, now there's some foods that I just find really inefficient, like,
Well, watermelon has actually, they've come up with the seedless watermelon, which is certainly a tremendous advance. I don't know what they're planting to grow the seedless watermelon, but the impressive thing really is the scientists and the genetic, gen tech people that work
Gen tech people, sure.
that bioengineer this stuff. And the question is, what kind of scientists are they? Because, you know, other scientists working on AIDS, cancer, heart disease, and these guys are going, no, I'm going to focus on melon. Because thousands are dying needlessly, but this got to stop.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Signy, I only got a brief little timer. I have to say goodbye. Do you want to stay and watch the news? Or you want to split? Or what do you want to
I'll
do?
watch from the audience and enjoy it.
All right. Jerry Seinfeld, folks. Yeah. Thank you, boss.
Thank you. Thanks.
Stay here.
Oh, okay.
Stay here in the uncomfortable chair. Well. Like those old space movies.
That's right.
Well, what have we glommed from tonight's little diatribe? We've learned that for most people, work is a dismal, unrewarding, 8-hour sentence in Attica's ass-blasting tank. And if you need a worker to be alert and on the ball, you're up the deep creek without the paddle you ordered 6 to 8 months ago from Hammaker Schlemmer. Your coat will be lost in the coat check, your packages will arrive smashed, and your baggage won't arrive at all. You'll buy bruised fruit, stale milk, and boxes of broken crackers. You'll check into hotels without towels, valets will total your car, and the dry cleaner will shrink your clothes. The gas man will spot weld you to your house 12 hours and reschedule on your wife's birthday. The cable guy will hook up Iranian soap operas and forget ESPN. No matter how badly done the job is, you'll pay too much to have it done and have to finish it yourself. And after a life of petty annoyances, insults, and indignities, you'll be cobbled into a coffin 2 sizes too small, dropped into a swampy grave on your head, and spend eternity with your neck bent backwards staring at your own ass. Ah, fuck it. Who wants pie? Yeah! Plan. I'm inefficient. Bye, Jeff. Home turf. Our last show was in Las Vegas. I just want to thank the MGM Grand Hotel for letting us have the run of the place. Okay, now let's take a look at the big screen. President Clinton appointed a new White House barber this week. Politicians gathered this week at the Republican Governors Conference in Williamsburg, Virginia, vehemently denying that their party lacks diversity. Stated a conference spokesman, as you can see, we have everything from white males under 40 years old to white males over 40 years old. GOP Congressional Leader Dick Armey holds in his hand every single new idea the Republicans will offer up this year. Bob Dole shows reporters his alternative to handing out condoms in school. So then the first homeless guy turns to the second homeless guy and says, "What do you mean you threw the cardboard box out? That was my house." Here we see newly crowned House Speaker Newt Gingrich being prepped for another speech by one of his handlers. After a weekend cruise in the Caribbean paid for by the National Review, Newt Gingrich took the train at the Atlanta airport to get his Louis Vuitton luggage, take his limo home, and cut government spending. Here we see Republican Governor-elect of New York, George Pataki, at a news conference where he promised to cut government costs by reducing duplication of services. Here we see Boris Yeltsin touring the disputed Estonia-Russian border. Yeltsin declared that Russia will not give up a single inch of Russian land. Never cut out on the punchline, Chet Forty. In China, even the mundane task of gathering urine samples takes on a traditional air of celebration and beauty. Death to America, death to Israel. Ah, fuck it, death to everyone. Hang on. It says here that we will probably have to wait for a while till we can launch an all-out jihad. And in the meantime, we should just kill amongst ourselves. What is a jihad? It's like a jihad that Buck Owens plays at. What the hell was the jihad? Heidi, 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 ho. Actually, this is the Heidi Fleischtrau. Here, Heidi is sporting her college co-ed look, which would normally run you about $1,000 a night. Man, everybody's been so nice to me this week, feeding me all kinds of stuff. I'm exhausted. I think I'll just head over there and put my head on that tree stump. Here, a group of kids from Kansas reenact the first Thanksgiving meal. Later, the Pilgrim kids banish the Native American kids to live in a barren section of the playground. Well, in duck terms, fat, drunk, goofy bastard shooting at us season opened this week. Here we see the NRA Art Department unveiling their new Christmas card this week. The inside reads, "Here's to carrying a peace on earth." New Jersey unveiled its first attempt to revitalize its tourist industry this week, Calamari Town. Here we see Pennsylvania state troopers testing the new Deerhead Pez radar gun. Classic British thespian Peter Ustinov is seen here reacting to the news that he has indeed been cast as Slappy, the irascible lifeguard cook on Baywatch. It was announced this week that George Foreman is the new spokesperson for the Shut the Fuck Up About My Diet and Let Me Eat My Goddamn Hamburger Foundation. Sorry, wrong house. So sorry. Wrong house. Oh, sorry, wrong house. My mistake. Sorry, wrong house. Sorry. How about now? Is the picture better or worse? Well, once again, down at Disneyland, Goofy was arrested on sexual harassment charges this week. No, go into the picture. Stay on the picture. I demand you go back, see, so they can see that he's behind the woman. Stay on it. This is actually Adriana Casoletti, the original voice of Snow White. She was honored as a Disney legend this week, put her hands in the cement and signed her name, which was later revealed to be the bottom of a contract, relieving her of all residual payments by Disney. Well, actually, I do know where we can get a sharper knife to carve the turkey with. Guess what, folks? That's the news, and I am out of here. Good night, everybody.